Okay, after a great word from Blake last Sunday in the book of James, we are coming back to the book of Judges. We're going to be in Judges chapter 3, Sunday, November 8th. And hey, I got a question for you. Do you have a favorite Bible story? What is it? It'd be kind of fun if we could just all have a conversation together about what that is. I think back to when I was a kid. Probably David versus Goliath, of course. You know, I love that one. Well, this Sunday, we are going to take a look at Judges chapter 3, and we are going to look at one of my kids, one of my sons. I'll narrow it down to that. So you got one of two choices. One of my son's favorite story in the Bible. And so you need to read ahead. I'm not going to tell you what it is, in this devotion. You actually need to read Judges chapter 3 and prep your heart and your mind to come together, whether you're joining us online or here physically with us. But let me tell you this, as we've been in the book of Judges, here's what we have most recently seen. We saw this, that God left Israel's enemies in the land of Canaan, in the land of promise, to do two things for his people. First one was this, to test them. To be a test for their own hearts. Now, it wasn't that God didn't know what was in their hearts. The reality is, God's people didn't know what was in their own hearts. They didn't know what was in their own hearts. Just like you and I, so often we don't know the depth of stuff that is in our hearts. And so God uses tests to draw out and reveal to us what is happening in our own hearts and our own lives so that we come to him for everything. The second reason that God left the enemies in the land was to teach his people war. Now, we're not a generation that knows war, but we do know this, and every generation needs to know this, spiritual warfare and the reality of spiritual warfare for God's people. And so the enemy was there for two reasons, to teach people, or to test God's people so that they would see in their hearts, their own hearts, and to teach them warfare so that they would learn to be obedient to him in everything. And they would do battle, spiritual battle. And so we're going to come and we're going to look at some of the oppression that came upon God's people. See, they had a king, a foreign king, who came and oppressed them for 18 years. And we're going to see in this text that God is going to send a messenger with a special message, a secret message from God. And so it's a great story. You got to read ahead. Let me give you a few hints here. You got an oppressor, you got a deliverer, you got a really fat guy, you got a sword, and you got a secret message. And we're going to put the whole story together on Sunday. So I encourage you, join us, register online at ctkgibsons.com or click on Facebook and YouTube to be with us on Sunday morning. Look forward to seeing you there.